Hey everybody, welcome back to the vlog. Thank you so much for joining me for tea time once again. Today we have some misty morning. Really good stuff. This has like that flavor of almost like a floral spice with bergamot. Just like a stroll through a orange grove. I don't know, it's so good. Misty morning, this is the one right here. If you haven't seen it, that's the one of the teas that I create now. So if you're one of those people that were looking for those teas, there they are. Go over to darkmoonteas.com, darkmoonteas.com. Check them out. If you like them, pick one or two up, give them a try. So, guys, today we're gonna get into some Q&A, right? We have this VLOGMAS that we're doing. I'm really excited about it. I got a lot of questions in the last video, a lot of shucking and jiving going on. So I'm gonna answer your questions or some of your questions from the last video, but I just wanna talk to you about Adobe real quick. Now, you know, I am the guy that did the Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord, that whole series. If you haven't watched that series, definitely check it out. But in the news, Adobe Q4 came out with how their monies are doing, guys, how much money they're making. And these people are making bank. They are making so much money. It's unbelievable. They basically, in Q4, their results show a massive $11 billion in revenue for 2019. 11 billion, guys, 11 billion. That's 24% growth. All right, just think about that, 24% growth. Now, if you look at it as a comparison to like 2016, for example, that's just 3 years. In 2016, they were making 5.8 billion, I believe. So they literally doubled in 3 years the amount of revenue that they're making per year. Doubled. 5.8 billion to 11 billion plus. Crazy. In just the last 3 months, just in the last quarter, in Q4, they almost hit $3 billion. Like, holy crap, right? So they're doing really well over there, right? They're really doing well on the backs of a lot of us, of course. And that was one of the reasons why I pulled away from Adobe. Was I didn't like their practice. I didn't like the way they started doing things once they went into this rent-a model, you know, this lease your software model. Just not a fan of not being able to purchase something and then buying it and keeping it and doing with it as you will, upgrading it whenever you feel like it, you know, once a year, once every 5 years, whatever, you have control. But now paying every month, the problem was that not even just the money of paying $50-some a month, because that's not really an issue. But what had happened was they really slowed down innovation, in my personal opinion. Because what happens is when a company has just money flowing in hand over fist from the millions of lemmings, what happens is you end up becoming complacent. And instead of doing innovations, you're doing iterations and you're just fixing little problems here and there, and that's it. They really weren't putting out anything great. And the reason being is, instead of every year or every 2 years coming out with a new suite, that you have to now just bring in a client and show them what you're going to give them for that $1,000, for that $1,200, for that suite, or whatever it is, okay? You have to show them something tangible that makes them want, desire, lust after, have to have your new product. And when you're just getting that money hand over fist, like I say, you know, monthly, you don't need to do that anymore. You don't. And that's one of the problems. And, you know, I guess my question here is, are you one of the people that are feeding the beast? Are you one of the people that are paying that $50 or $10 or $29 or whatever it is to Adobe every month ad nauseum, in perpetuity, forever? Are you one of those people? If you are and you don't want to be, I did a series called Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord. If you look in my channel, look for the series, look for those playlists, you'll find a playlist. And in there, I've covered alternatives for Lightroom, Photoshop, InDesign, Premiere, Audition, a whole bunch of different things. All right. And what I did is I tested out all of these alternatives and really put them through their paces for my professional work. All right. And then the ones that I found worked the best as a professional tool, I told you guys about. And I kind of put them into an order of free stuff that you have to pay for or whatnot. So definitely, if it's something that you're interested in and you don't want to continue to keep paying the beast over there at Adobe, check it out. Life After Adobe, Cutting the Cord. Check out that playlist. You might enjoy. I'll put like a link down here or down in the comments or description or someplace. All right. So if you want to see that, check it out. Anyways, this Vlogmas, we're going to get right into some questions. So let's get started with Alan Davies. He says, is the Nikon D850 still relevant today as a DSLR in 2019 or 2020? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the Nikon D850 is probably one of the best cameras that they've created. I think it is absolutely awesome. It does like 46 megapixels. It does 4K, it does 1080p at 60 FPS. It has 2 card slots, shoots 7 frames per second. So it's not going to be like a sports shooter, but still it is good enough. Up to 25/600, I think it is for ISO. So it does really good in low light. It is a really good camera. Is it still viable? Absolutely. An amazing, amazing camera. Next, we have Alex Lancashire. He says, do you think that hat is a good idea, Joseph? Yeah, probably not so much, not so much. John Harsel says, nice hat, give it back. York back there is cold. Yeah, he is cold. Well, after Vlogmas, I'm gonna take this hat and we'll give it back to him. He doesn't have too much meat on his bones, so we'll definitely give it back to York. Next, we have the British Indian. He says, motor shows are going the same way too. I haven't been to one since 2005. Absolutely, my friend. All shows are going the same way, and that is the way of the dodo bird. They're just slowly becoming less and less relevant, let's say. Less and less relevant. Next, we have Joe Alfano. He says, I went to PDN Photo Plus Expo this year, and it should have been called Photo Minus. That's probably the case. He said Sony had their show about a block and a half away, and it was better than anything at the regular show. Kudos to Sony. That is what has been happening. A lot of these manufacturers are figuring out how to make their own shows, so to speak. Right? Like Nikon did when they introduced that Z series, right? They made it into this big thing, right? For weeks, they made it into this thing and it was all online, live. So I agree with you, Joe. Next, we have Rose Theromani, I believe it is. She says, in the future, we will have to rely on big photographic YouTube influencers to make our decisions. Well, Rose, I think that time has already come and gone, all right? I think YouTube influencers are more important today than any show that's currently out there. They can reach more people quicker, all right? The problem is being unbiased. How many channels do you find that are not unbiased, that are basically being motivated by monetary gain? Now, we all need to make a living. But if I'm going to tell you that this pen is the best pen that I've ever used in my entire life, all right? If I have a horse in the race, and basically if you buy this pen, I get an affiliate commission on that, I'm being disingenuous, okay? Even if what I say is correct, just with that knowledge, you know that I'm going to be more inclined to tell you that this is a fantastic pen. And we're seeing this all the time in the photo community. We're seeing a lot of channels that say, buy this camera over that camera. And the reason being is they're getting a larger affiliate commission if you buy that camera over that camera. Same thing with lenses and accessories, okay? So the bottom line is, yes, YouTube influencers are a big, big deal right now, but you need to be just wary on who you're watching. As they say, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't view it as absolute law, because it's not, all right? It's not. And you will know the channels that are unbiased. You know, I tell you all the time, this channel is 100% unbiased. Why? Because I don't take affiliate money. If I was ever sponsored by a manufacturer to do a review, I'll tell you that beforehand. All the reviews I've ever done, I've never been sponsored. They send me the stuff and I'll tell you if it's good or not, period. Okay. And I think you guys appreciate that. Next, we have Ron Comstock. He says, how do you overcome people who ask to have photos done, pay a session fee, but never order? However, they want images to post on Facebook. Well, this is always a problem. Whenever you have a studio, you're going to have these people that do this. In my personal opinion, number one, charge a higher session fee. This way, your monies are covered, no matter if they buy or they don't buy. Then go down on the fee for your photos. For ordering photos, make them cheaper so they're more inclined to order after the fact. And then finally, as far as Facebook, in my personal opinion, I would give them for a fee photos that are really small, like 640 by 480 or something like that, that are good enough, maybe 720, that are good enough at 72 PPI. You don't even have to say that. They don't even know what the hell that is. Basically non-printable versions, okay? And give those to them for a small fee. So now they can share them, but you know they're not going to be able to print them. In today's world of social media, people want that. So give it to them, charge them, but make sure you give them a lower quality that's great for online, for viewing with your phone or on a screen, but you cannot print it. All right. So that would be my suggestion. Next, we have Steve Van Sack. He says, I do enjoy photo conferences, but I really only attend one per year due to time and money. 110%. The fact, a lot of people are trying to figure out which conferences they're going to go to, when, and how far away they are, because travel is a big thing. You're getting hotels, you're getting, Ubers, you're getting cabs, whatever. It's expensive. Okay. And that's one of the problems that happened with Photokina. Photokina has these people coming to Germany, to Cologne, all right, from all over the place every other year. And they did it. The problem is when you start doing that show every year, those people aren't flying in every year to Cologne, Germany because of ROI, your return on investment. Okay. They just can't do it. It's just not, doesn't make sense. So now all of a sudden you have a convention or a conference of locals and the manufacturers aren't going to have it. There's not enough people. Then there's no ROI for them. Right. So something to think about. Next, we have Gary Wolf. He says shows also have skills training opportunities in addition to product marketing. Here again, the internet provides great resources and the ability to self-pace and view repeatedly as desired. Now I look for in-depth hands-on seminars and workshops, 4 to 7 days on-site training in which I might be interested in. And yes, that is exactly what's going on. A lot of these conferences are turning more into educational seminars, sessions, or whatever. Okay, that's where the money is. People are still going for the hands-on training, but they just don't care to walk around and look at the equipment anymore because they've already seen the equipment online in depth, okay, for months prior to now seeing it at the convention, right? So that's the big problem. Yes, education, hands-on education. Most important. Next, we have Jay Lozier. He says, sponsoring a couple of vloggers to show off your gear on social media platforms is more effective in reaching potential retail customers than any trade show. Yes, we just talked about that. Absolutely. Just imagine, like, for example, if you're Ben Nye and you create makeup that's good enough for covering tattoos, for example. Well, Ben Nye could go to a show, right? A makeup show, and they will get a lot of traffic. Or Ben Nye can go to a YouTube channel that specializes in tattoo cover-ups. Now, even if the channel only has 20, 30, 40,000 people, they are laser targeted people. That would be 30, 40,000 people that would be interested in Ben Nye makeup for covering up tattoos. Whereas going to the show, it's not going to be the case, right? So yes, I agree 110%. Sponsoring vloggers, really, really good way to go because you really can hone in on who you're marketing to. It's much cheaper. Much, much cheaper. Next, we have MSA Coach Mike, MSA Coach Mike. He says, if I take a 10-second long, like astronomy type of photo, does it matter if I mirror lock up or not? Basically, for that smack where the mirror is smacking around inside, will you get blurry images? Well, if you're taking a 10-second image or let's say a minute image of the galaxies, that initial snap is really not going to be an issue. When you start slowing things down a little bit, that's when it gets to be a little bit of an issue, and you might see a slightly less clear image if you don't lock up prior to. But these days, these cameras are so good at what they do, you really don't have to worry about it too much. My personal opinion. If you want to be anal about it, you're doing product photography, you have your camera on a stand, you want to lock up that mirror before, go ahead. All right, more power to you. But if you're using flash and you're stopping everything anyways, you're probably not going to make too much of a difference. Minuscule. I wouldn't bother. Also, he asks, are there any viable solutions that exist to keep rain from hitting the front element for extended period of time, like if you're in the rain? Well, for me, what I do is I have, for example, a large lens hood on, let's say, a 70-200. Well, the lens hood's like 4 inches. It's huge. Nothing's getting in there unless rain is blowing straight in. What I normally do is I have an assistant with me. I have golfer, type style umbrellas. They're massive. I'll have an assistant have an umbrella over me. That's it. That's about the best you can do. I don't want to be sitting out there in the rain anyways, even if the gear is weatherproof, weather resistant. Okay, it's not for me. So is there any viable solutions? I don't know of any. Next, we have Bob in Oregon. He says, why would someone from, say, the United States travel to Cologne to see equipment already widely featured on the internet? As you said, exhibiting at Photokina is horribly expensive, especially with the overhead such as tickets. Air tickets are very expensive. You have hotel rooms, taxis. Just like we said before, it's expensive. And yes, like I said, going over there on a yearly basis is not going to happen, Bob. And that's why they failed. All right. It was a stupid thing to try to get Photokina to happen yearly. It's not going to happen, period. It just can't happen. Next, we have Randy Witt. Randy Witt says, with the continuing contraction in the enthusiast and amateur photography sector, are there enough professionals worldwide to continue to have the number of manufacturers that are currently in the game? That's a hard one. That is a hard one. Yes. And I want to say yes because it's kind of like, I hate to say no. Because yes, we need to have as many manufacturers as possible because we need to have that continuous innovation. And if there's not that angst to get something better, do something better, make something better, okay? It's just simply not going to happen. Companies become complacent. They sit on their laurels, Canon, not to name any names, and that's just what happens. You need a lot of competition. And if you don't have a lot of vendors, a lot of manufacturers, you don't have a lot of competition. So I think there's enough photographers to support them. I think they just need to change the way they're marketing. And I think they need to change their price structure too. But that is a whole nother video that we can get into in a future, maybe Vlogmas. Bobby Brown says, do you think professional photography days are coming to an end? Gloom and doom. Bobby, I don't think so. There will always be a spot for a professional in any circumstance. Okay. Someone that does it professionally all the time, every day. Sometimes you just need a pro to do work, okay? So there will be a professional always out there, professional videographer, professional photographer. I don't care how good the gear gets because they know their trade. They have that artistic vision, that eye. They have the dexterity. They have the knowledge to do it. Not everyone wants to do everything. It reminds me of one time seeing a video of someone doing brain surgery on themselves after watching a YouTube video. It's just a stupid thing, but it's comical because people do that. They watch YouTube and they become a plumber. They watch YouTube and all of a sudden they're burning their hair off because they think that they're a beautician. They're watching YouTube and they become a photographer. They don't know a hell of beans about photography, but now they're a professional photographer and they're handing brides a hella mess. And then I have to fix it. That's a whole nother video too. Anyways, yeah. So I don't think professional photographers are going anywhere. It's contracting. It is definitely contracting. The good or the cream will rise. Definitely, Bobby. The good will rise to the top. Walter Gibson says, why is it important to keep these shows going? They had a function one time, and that was for the big reveal and new products and whatnot. Yes, but like I said before, it's no longer about the big reveal. It's about the education, okay? The hands-on is very, very important. So those shows that do stick around will be more focused on that education, in my personal opinion. And they'll probably shrink down the actual floor where they're having these vendors show their stuff. They're going to need to start reducing the cost to these manufacturers to show too. That's what's going to happen. Anyways, Mike Calhoun, he says, is it possible that Photokina is pricing itself out of business, somewhat like the Olympics are doing? Could be. I don't have cardinal knowledge to what the cost is for showing at Photokina, but I'm sure it's not cheap. As I was saying, you're probably looking at 50,000, 100,000 for some of these booths. Some of them probably $250,000 or more. Once you start flying product and people and stuff in for those shows into Germany, you're talking about a lot of money for sure. Next, we have J Rome 719. He says, guys like you, quality, are giving us the real deal, facts versus marketing mumbo jumbo in order to make an informed camera buying decision. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. And yes, I do think that there's a lot of great, really great YouTube channels out there that are giving quality, unbiased opinions on stuff that help you, that don't tell you what to buy. And that is a major, major point. You just have to be leery. You know, like I say, take everything with a grain of salt. Just look at what you're watching. And if you're watching a channel that you know that you absolutely love for the entertainment value, but they're not very unbiased with the reviews, that's okay. Watch the channel, but just know when they recommend something that it might come from a place of monetary gain, you know, where they're making more money saying that this is better than that because they're making more affiliate cash or they're making more sponsorship money if you buy that over this. So just keep that in mind. It's just the nature of the beast. That's just the way it is, and it's going to continue that way. Nothing's going to change. Next, we have Jose A. De Leon. He says, how about announcing a major event, a launch of a new product, etc., and coordinating it through the brick and mortar stores all over the nation? I think camera manufacturers can afford to send one of their representatives to these stores and launch a new product and let the folks put hands on the product. Absolutely. Absolutely. Fantastic idea. They're doing it. A lot of them are doing it. We have a Leica store local to us. They do a great job of bringing in Leica representatives all the time. When new gear comes out, gives you the hands-on opportunity, asking questions. Smart way to do it. B&H, Adorama, a lot of these companies also have manufacturers like myself would come in. We would show our product. Like, for example, if I was to go to B&H, I would be able to, let's say, be there for maybe an hour or two and do sensor cleaning with my Aurora Camera Care lens cleaning kits, okay? Or maybe do some autofocus lens calibration with my focus pyramid, or maybe some PRT work with the photo reference tool to get colors dialed in right, or whatever it is, okay? They would bring me in. I would be able to have that interaction. Not only is it great for me because I have that, or the vendor has that hands-on with the actual clients that are coming into the store, but the brick and mortar gets something out of it too because they're bringing in other people that might not have been there only to see me, for example, in my product, and now they can actually sell them other stuff that's in the store. So it's a symbiotic relationship between the vendor, the manufacturer, and the brick and mortar. Doing more of that, 100%, very, very smart. Great point, Jose. Next, we have Gary Grimes. He says, I would like to know what you think Canon will do in the full frame arena for 2020. Could they crush Sony or will they blunder along? Canon will just continue being Canon. All right. I've been shooting Canon for 20 years. All right. I never have ever carried a Canon flag. I really don't care what you use. Okay. As long as it works for you, fantastic. I personally think Canon always does the bare minimum. That's just what they do. And I don't think it's going to change. I really don't. I would like to say, yes, Canon will just, in 2020 come out with something great now in Photokina, some new release that they're been speculating they're going to be releasing. It's going to be a wonderful thing. It's just going to crush Sony. I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think Canon cares for it to happen. All right. That's just how they are. That's how they are. I don't think will do something drastic and really start putting the heat on unless they really start feeling it and the numbers start going down and they start reversing to Sony, where Sony now is #1 all the time and Canon is #2. I think all of a sudden they'll get the message, but they don't mind that Sony just sits right there because, you know, there's plenty of money to go around. Okay, there's plenty of money to go around. Next, we have Chuck Cecil, I believe, Cecil. He says, it's been about 6 months since your Life After Adobe Cutting the Cord series started, and I would like to hear more about where that has taken you and how it has affected your production. He also says, let's face it, it is easy to recommend cutting the cord due to anger or frustration, but not sharing your journey as you continue to navigate into this new territory creates a lot of speculation as to the wisdom of that decision. That hurts, but it's true. That's very true. And I apologize, Chuck. I will do a video just on that, okay? Just on my process of moving away from Adobe and maybe a 6-month, 5-month review. I might even do a Vlogmas on that. So I have more questions here, but I'll probably take them on into another video because I don't want this to go too long. 30 minutes is well long enough. I've occupied way too much of your time as it is. Some of you guys that are still around listening to my nonsense here, I thank you for hanging out for so long. And make sure you use coupon code YT20 when you go to JCristina.com. Just for being here, you're gonna get 20% off everything anyways. Maybe pick up some of these, right? Pick up some of the teas. Anyways, YT20. So in the comment area below this video, put more questions. Any questions you have for me could have to do with Adobe, could have to do with this Photokina thing, could have to do with anything. My production here, my personal stuff, whatever you want to know, put it in there. And in the next Vlogmas, I'm going to answer those questions. And we're going to keep doing this. I like this interaction. I like these questions and be able to just communicate with you whatever you want to know in comparison to me always having to guess what I feel that you need to know. All right. I absolutely love your questions. So please, in the comment area, leave your questions. After that, head over to my Discord that I made specifically for you guys. It's a creative Discord over at community.jcristina.com. Once again, community.jcristina.com. Sign up, it's free, and have more conversations with not just myself, hundreds of other photographers, videographers, and creatives that just, they have a hell of a lot more knowledge than I do, and they are willing to give that knowledge to you free. So head over there. So that's it, guys. As always, I appreciate you being here. I'm going to finish my tea. See, it's getting cold already. I hate that. I hate that. Some of you guys have said you need to finish your tea while on camera. Don't let it sit there and get cold. I need to start doing that, right? So guys, as always, if you enjoy my content, please throw me a big thumbs up. That would be awesome. And don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get all my content when it becomes available, and click the bell icon so when it is available, you will be notified of it. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me. That would be awesome. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. Many blessings to each and every one of you. Happy holidays.